Perfect. Perfect.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Isn't It Crazy podcast. So, today I want to talk about something very serious. I'm kidding. We talking about them haters. In the famous words of Dave Skylark, they hate us because they ain't us, right? I mean, everybody has haters. If you say, well, Rudy, I don't do anything, so how could I have haters? They hate you for that. They hate you because you don't do anything. They hate you if you do something. They hate you a little more if you do something, and they really hate you if you do something better than they're doing. People who hate aren't very happy with themselves, and if they see somebody that's happy, they're gonna talk shit. So there's different forms of hating. There's talking shit, disliking everything they do, or they're just trying to manipulate others to hate you as much as they hate you, I guess you could say. I want to talk about this because every time I post a video or I announce there's a video, somebody goes on this YouTube channel and dislikes the video. Like, this isn't really big, so you done fucked up, right? You fucking morons. There's like maybe 100 people that look at my story, and out of those 100, maybe half of them click on it, and out of those half, one or two people fucking dislike it. So I'm still working on it, but I got my suspects, and I'm sure they either clicked off right now, or I'm sure they're listening, and haters hate that. Haters hate when you put the spotlight on them. They're lurkers. They like to lurk a lot. So say you're a hater. Why do people hate? One, they're unhappy. Two, they're jealous, right? They hate us because they ain't us, kind of thing. They're peanut butter and jelly. Fucking they're jealous because you're doing something that maybe they don't have the guts to do, or maybe they just can't do it. Sometimes people hate professional athletes because they couldn't make it, right? They couldn't make it to the NFL, so that anger has to go towards something, and you start hating on people. My advice to any haters out there, if you're listening, or if you disliked it and left, maybe somebody should share this. Just get it to their ears, instead of hating, why don't you just appreciate people? Use them as motivation. Whenever I encounter somebody that's better than me, I don't talk shit about them or try to make them less or try to make people think of them less than they are. I use it as motivation. I look at that person, I'm like, man, that's where I want to be. It doesn't help you at all to hate. Like I said, whether you do anything or you do nothing, they're still gonna talk shit. So you might as well do whatever you want to do, and don't worry about the haters. Sometimes the haters, what's crazy is the haters are the closest people to you. It could be one of your closest friends, and they're low key snakes, and they're trying to not. They're saying they're supporting you, but behind your back, they're telling everybody bad shit. I hate people who talk shit about other people without telling that person they're talking about the things they say to their face, right? Every time somebody starts talking shit about somebody, I stop them right there. I'm like, would you say that to them to their face, or are you just saying that to me? Because if you're not saying it to their face, shut the fuck up. Because what are the chances that you're doing that to me too? Every time you encountered a friend that just loves to talk shit, 9 out of 10 times those motherfuckers are talking shit about you too. So if you want to participate in that, go ahead. in my life, I had a couple of friends that did that. Shit gets back to you. Everybody loves to talk, and you hear shit that your friends have said, and you're like, wow, that person really thinks that about me. So, you eliminate those people out of your life, and then you move on. All right. There's more people. You could become friends with more positive people. You could become friends with people who truly want to see the best for you. But regardless of anything, try to minimize the amount of haters you can get. I know there's a couple people that hate me. I know there's a couple people that have talked shit about this show. Me personally, I'm sure they've said stuff that they would never say to my face, but they've said it in between each other, and that's okay. And I don't base my self value on what they think about me. I don't really. The moment you stop caring what people think about you is the moment you start being more of you. You get to post whatever you. I guarantee you, there's people that are scared that people are gonna hate on them, that they don't post what they really want to post. Maybe it's a picture with their parents. Maybe it's a picture of some silly show they like. I know there's been times where I've been caught up where like I want to share something, but I'm afraid of what people are gonna say about me, so I don't post it. But I stopped caring about what people think about me a long time ago. So I could say I'm proud to watch Gossip Girl. I did cry during The Lion King. Um, Stupid shit like that. A lot of guys might be really insecure of sharing or whatever, but there's a quote that says, if you're good inside, nothing outside could destroy you or whatever, or make you feel bad. I fucked up that quote completely, but you know what I'm saying. So if you ever encounter a hater, the best thing you could do is eliminate them from if they're your friend or something, eliminate them from your life and just move on. You could find better people, people that are actually going to support you. And don't worry about it being right away. Everything comes out. Every bad thing you do comes out, and every bad thing you say about somebody gets back somehow. I don't know if it's karma. I don't know if it's the universe trying to give you a signal, but it's something, right? So beware. And at the same time, don't be a hater yourself. Don't fucking put people down just because they're trying something, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know how hard it might be. Like, somebody might say that this show's stupid or Rudy's annoying for sharing all this stuff, and I don't care, but they also don't understand how hard it actually is to make a podcast. It's not just let's sit down and talk. It takes a lot of thinking, creativity, learning. I still got to learn how to do the lights, better sound, better intro. There's shit I'm working on. So if you're saying it's stupid, of course it's stupid, because I just started, and for you to hate on me right now is kind of dumb. Like, I am trying to get better. So you're losing your energy. I don't really care about it. But I find it funny that people waste their time on that. People, instead of taking motivation, if you're hating on me for starting a podcast because you wanted to start a podcast, you just don't have the balls to do it. Instead of take that bad energy and fucking put it towards your podcast. It might be better than mine. I might look at you and say, shit, you know, I could use a couple things from your podcast. Um, it's a mentality thing, and if you have the bad mentality, you're never gonna go anywhere in life. If all you do is hate on people because they're trying to do something to better themselves, it's kind of insane. You could be like me, or you could be better than me, and that's fine. Okay, um, if you're somebody that deals with a lot of hate, like I said, minimize it. I know there's a couple people that hate me, and it's like, it's because I talk shit. I love to talk shit, but to them, I'm not talking shit to their friend, so their friend could go tell them. I'll say it to your face, and I'm that type of person that if you make fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of you back, and I'm way better at it. So I'm gonna push some buttons, and you're not gonna like it. And I think that's where the dislike comes from. I do come off as cocky. Some people say I come off as an asshole. Um, to each his own. I think it's their personalities and my personality just don't mix, because the best of friends that I have are the guys who could take a fucking joke, who could roast me back, and it's a back and forth, and they know it's all jokes, and they don't take it they don't take it too hard. So if we're talking shit and I call you a little bitch and you get mad, then you just prove my point. You're a little bitch, because that's what little bitches do, I guess you could say. So try to minimize the hate, but just know that in every facet of your life, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna hate on you. And I just wanted to call out whoever's disliking my videos. I'm getting closer. All right, I share something, and then like 20 minutes later, the dislike is there. So I'm gonna start. I start checking who's looking at the stories, and then I'm like, all right, it wasn't this person. Oh, this person's always been here, and there's always a dislike. So I'm getting closer, and if I figure out who it is, I will confront them, and then I'm gonna roast the shit out of them on this podcast. You know, I'm petty like that. My pettiness level is beyond fucking. I'll do that, and I will tag them, and I will make sure all their friends could hear it. So this should be fun. But if you're a hater, try to use some motivation instead of hating. If you're getting hated on, just accept the fact, and just know that they're gonna hate you whether you do it or you don't. So you might as well do it. So yeah, man, don't be a hater. Just get better. There's got to be a better quote than that, but that's all I got. So if you're disliking my videos, you're kind of a cunt, because if you had a YouTube channel, I wouldn't dislike your videos. But hey, I'm not here being a crybaby. I just know somebody out there does not like me, and they listen to the show, and I think it's hilarious. So you can hate all you want, but you're still viewing this shit, and so thank you for the views, and thank you for the attention, and I hope I entertained you guys. If you're feeling a little salty right now because you're the one disliking this shit, shame on you. And once I figure it out, you're fucked. So moving on to sports, the NFL is back, and I cannot be any fucking happier. Honestly, baseball season sucks. It's so boring. I mean, the playoffs are kind of cool, but in general, baseball's boring. And anybody who says it's fun has a shitty life. I don't know what to tell you. But I don't hate baseball. I like going to the games because those are fun, but watching them on TV is terrible. And I'm not gonna go to 30 baseball games because there's nothing to watch on TV, right? So I'm just happy the NFL is back. And there's controversy in the Cowboys, and there's some problems going on. Different teams here and there, but none like the Cowboys. And obviously, the Cowboys, it's America's team, so it's gonna get magnified times 10 every single time there is a problem. And right now, like I said before, Ezekiel Elliott is causing problems not just in the field but outside of the field. He's had problems with the police, and now he's holding out in training camps and not showing up for practices, and he's going to Cabo in Mexico to train. No one goes to Cabo, Mexico to do anything. Okay, you could post a couple Instagram videos of you running on the beach, but you ain't doing shit. You're probably trying to fuck as many girls as you can, and you're not training. So for him to say I'm training in Cabo is bullshit. And when he comes back, if he comes back, um, it's gonna show. He's gonna have a terrible season. And mark my words, as talented as he is, he when you do that shit, it's not gonna go well. Tom Brady doesn't miss practices. Tom Brady doesn't go to Cabo right before the season starts. Tom Brady is working out with guys during the summer. Tom Brady's at the OTAs. He's at fucking preseason. Tom Brady's there. And that's why Tom Brady gets the Lombardi trophy 9 out of 10 years. So It's just whoever's managing him is managing him terribly. There's no advice there. I mean, maybe they're scared of him. Maybe like they don't want to lose their job because they might say something he dislikes. But whoever's doing it is doing it wrong. And the Cowboys moved on. They got Alfred Morris. They signed him, and he's a decent running back. And he played for the Cowboys, so he already knows their system. Um, they were talking about more money for Dak, more money for defensive players and offensive players like Cooper, the wide receiver, and because he's looking for an extension. So they're moving on without him. The Cowboy train's leaving Ezekiel Elliott and Cabo, and they're trying to fucking get a Super Bowl without him. So who- I think he's fucked. But we'll see what happens. I guarantee you he comes out of shape because nobody's doing shit in Cabo, and the Cowboys move on from him. And the worst part is the Cowboys could trade him to a lesser team. What if they trade him to the Buffalo Bills for two future draft picks instead of just having him? Like, he's a good talent, but if he's gonna cause this much problems, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are just gonna move on from him. And when you're the star of the Cowboys, not only the star of the Cowboys, but like one of the stars in the NFL, the Cowboys is a team you want to be. The Cowboys play on Monday Night Football more than any other team and are featured in the Sunday night games of the week more than any other team, right? So you want that attention. You don't want to leave this team. It's like being on the Lakers and then having to go to fucking Oklahoma where the media is so much smaller. You're fucked. And he made his money. He has $20 million. So I don't. I'd rather they pay Dak and they pay these other teammates that are doing more than him, because it's either he's suspended or he's not playing or he's injured or he's doing this shit where he doesn't show up to the game. So I'd rather they pay the guys who are always there, trying their best to get the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. And I know people are going to talk shit because I haven't talked about the Bears, but the Bears haven't done a lot. I still haven't looked into it, and I just want to wait for the actual season to start, and then I'll talk more about the Bears. But yeah, I hope the Green Bay Packers are just doing terrible with their new coach, and we will. I guarantee you, the Bears will be number one in the conference this year. So we'll see what happens. Moving on, we have UFC on ESPN 5, and the main feature is Colby Covington versus Robbie Lawler, and they're just gonna stand and bang. I know Lawler loves to stand and bang, but Kobe's gonna try to take it to the floor. I mean Lawler isn't a slouch on the fucking ground either, so Kobe should watch out. But most likely he's gonna take it to the ground. He's gonna do what he did to Damian Maya. He's gonna try to neutralize Lawler's ability to strike, but and he saw what Ben Askren could do to Kobe, so he's gonna try to do the same thing. As much as I hate Kobe, he's the only one doing it right. He's the only one talking shit. He's the only one hyping things up. You know, the reason I heard about this fight is because of his shit talking. So these guys that show respect towards one another, I'm not asking them to be fake, but at the same time, like, you're about to fight this motherfucker. Like, you want to be professional, sure, but you also want to get paid. And I would just follow the Connor thing. Just, say you don't have to be fake. You don't have to create anything, but at the same time, say I'm better than this guy. This guy doesn't stand a chance. That's like slight jabs at somebody's ego, and it might just make them talk shit, and then you could go back and forth. But a lot of these guys want to say, "Oh, I respect him. He's my friend." Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to, unless you guys are super good. Nobody wants to see two guys shake hands, and there's no show. There's no show for anybody, and this is the show era. Back then, when it was all about skills, you could get away with it. But now you go into the Conor McGregor era, and you got to talk shit, or at least make it exciting. You don't have to make it fake, but at the same time, don't make it boring. Other fights are Clay Guida versus Jim Miller, and shout out to Clay Guida because he's from Illinois, but he's old as shit. Yeah, he is in the Hall of Fame for the UFC, but he's old as fuck. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm rooting for him, but Jim Miller isn't young either, but at the same time, fuck man, it's gonna be a snooze fest right there. So we'll see what happens. And so they don't really stack these fight nights. They're just, it's part of the deal with ESPN, but there's a couple good fights in there, you know. So it's free if you have ESPN. Um, I suggest you check them out. You know, there's a lot of guys that are moving up in the ranks. So if you want to catch a fighter early before anybody else does, and then he gets famous and he gets big, you have a lot of material to talk about. And I know that's crucial when you're talking to a friend that loves the UFC. Um, and you say like, "Oh yeah, I saw him fight this person and that person. I saw him do that." You know, it gives you more credibility when you're talking sports with your friends. So I suggest you watch that. It should be a good fight. That's all I got for sports. So moving on to trending topics. So I get help with trending topics now. I have Jaslyn send me a couple topics here and there, and one of the topics she sent me was there's a seesaw in the border. So the Mexican USA border, there's a seesaw there, and the Mexican kids get to play with the white kids, and there's like 3 seesaws, and I don't even know how the fuck they did it. You know, I'm pretty sure you can't build anything on there. If we find out you can, they're just gonna build a ladder over this wall that Trump promised us. I don't know what time that's gonna come. I don't think Donnie Trump's gonna bust out that wall anytime soon. Maybe the next president will. Who knows? Maybe they want to put a fucking dome around the USA. I don't know what they want to do, but there's a seesaw at the border, and I don't know what kids' parents, especially in Mexico, are driving all the way to the border so their kids could play with another kid. But there's pictures and there's a couple of things. There's pictures and there's a couple of kids playing there, and I think that's great. I think not only is it art, but it teaches you that you can coexist with other people. It's teaching these little white kids and these little Mexicans that their race shouldn't matter, that these people aren't that bad. You know, back to us talking about that, like people hating on you. Sometimes the people that you dislike the most, you don't even know. You hate them for a certain thing, but you don't know who they are. So when you get to sit down with somebody or hang out with somebody or actually get to know them, the things you thought you hated about this person might not seem so bad. Like you might learn more about this person and be like, oh shit, they're actually cool. So this allows 2 different countries, 2 different races to play with one another and figure out that, hey, like that person isn't so bad. That person isn't a drug dealer or a rapist. That person's just like me, and we're trying to have fun, and we had fun, and I'm not scared of them. And if that person wants to come across the border and play with me, why can't we do that? So more shit like that needs to happen for future generations not to be as bad as we are now, where it's like we hate you, like not even knowing. I guarantee you 99% of the people that are Trump supporters or at the Trump rallies have never spent time with a Mexican, have never followed a Mexican while they work here and see how hard a Mexican works. And if a Mexican hates the white supremacist or whatever, like, no, they're not white supremacists. They're like Donald Trump supporters. Sorry. I guarantee you not all of them are bad. You know, some of them might support Donald Trump because their parents support Donald Trump. Some might just support Donald Trump because they think it's funny. There's a million reasons why somebody supports Donald Trump. It doesn't have to mean they're racist, but most of them are kind of racist. So, you know, but if you get to meet somebody who's not the racist one, who just likes him because they think it's funny, and you guys have all these things in common, you're not gonna feel like they're bad people, I guess you could say. So, you know, that should be a challenge. Spend time with somebody you hate. You know, if you hate them at the end, then you really hate that person. But most likely 8 out of 10 times you're not gonna hate this person at the end of it. So you guys should try that. If there's somebody that you think is annoying, have a conversation with them. You don't have to meet up with them, but have a conversation with them and tell them, be like, hey man, like I don't really like you, but I'm trying this new thing where I don't fucking hate on everybody. So you talk to them and see where it goes from there. You might make a friend. Some of the best friends I've made, I try to beat the shit out of before. So and then we became friends. So who knows? You gotta extend yourself out there and meet new people. Not everybody's an asshole unless you meet me. I don't know. All right. So one thing I talked about before in my previous podcast was the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I saw it like about a week ago. And let me tell you, if you don't watch films like where you have to pay attention, you guys like the Spider-Man shit where you get what's happening. There's a bad guy, there's a good guy, and then the good guy wins. This film is not for you. So the film's about an old actor who's reaching the end of his career, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and his name is Cliff Booth. No, his name is Rick Dalton, and he's best friends with Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt is his stunt double, and they started from the beginning in some TV show called Bounty Law, and they're at the end, right? They're at the and they're both at the end of their careers. Um, if you're watching film, you know when you're watching a Quentin Tarantino movie because of the way he directs his movies, it's always fast cuts, a lot of montage, and different ways of directing. There's a part where he narrates kind of like 5 minutes of the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. But it's kind of hard to follow. Being a Quentin Tarantino movie, there's a lot of perspectives and a lot of storylines going on. And overall, I think it was a great film. It's funny. There's parts where like you really get the sense that these actors are those characters. Obviously, they're A-list actors. Being a Quentin Tarantino movie, they're gonna be heavy hitting actors. There's no fucking B level actors or C level actors. These guys are the top notch people. So it was a great film. And the problem with the film is you have to know a backstory to the Charles Manson murders, and that's the twist at the end. So if you didn't know anything about that, you didn't know about what happened the night of when Polanski's wife got killed and her friends got killed, you're not gonna get the ending, and it's not gonna make sense. But it's a hilarious ending, and in Tarantino fashion, it was over the top and just fucking hilarious. So I recommend the movie. I don't think I gave enough. I don't think I gave away too much, and you guys should go check it out. But you have to pay attention to what's happening, and I think you'll enjoy it. If not, stick to fucking Spider Man. I don't know what to tell you. But just sticking to what I've been watching, I want to talk about Euphoria. It's a new HBO, not a film. It's a new HBO show, and it follows Rue, played by Zendaya, as a teenager who's addicted to drugs, any type of drugs, psychedelics, uppers, downers, anything she could get her hands in. And if it's kind of hard these days not to bump into somebody that hasn't been affected by somebody who does drugs. And it hits home for me because I've had a couple friends that do drugs, and the show shows you why somebody would do drugs, how it feels to be on the drug, why they keep taking the drug, and what happens after they take a drug. But if you're somebody that doesn't know anybody with drug like a drug issue, there's definitely a lot of problems you could pick from. You could be the show has a fat girl trying to be confident. They have an athlete with too much pressure on him. They have a jock who's secretly gay. They have a girl who's has everything but is clearly has like self-image issues and she's sad. And then you have I think there's like one normal kid, and she's like the funny one. She's like the comic relief in the show. But there's a lot of storylines that you could follow, and at the beginning of the show it's just what's happening, whatever the problem is, and what these kids are all about, and then it breaks into each episode having each episode describes a different character. So I think it's pretty cool. You should definitely check that out. Check both of those out. Let me know what you think about them. And that's pretty much my show. I got a pizza waiting for me, so I gotta go. But if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. If you're the hater for some reason, you stayed the whole show and you're just happy that I was talking about you, try a different thing and like the show this time, huh? Don't dislike it. How about that? All right. And if you are hating on it, message me and we could have a conversation, and I guarantee you I might not be your cup of tea, but maybe we could get along, and we could figure out why you hate me so much. That could be a very interesting conversation. So that's pretty much it.